Guys, good evening and welcome to the Prospect eRacing League America's Division Tier 1 for round 2 for the British Grand Prix. Alright, so we're getting started with qualifying 1 here right about now. Down to already about 15 and a half minutes as guys are starting to get out on track at the moment here. Just to get on their out laps and get everything warmed up. And we'll see what the lap times are going to be looking like. Going to be quite an interesting race. We got a grid of 17 drivers so far. We might have maybe one or two more joining on the session, just depending on if everyone's actually have their game updated already. We'll see what's going to go on in that case there, but for the moment, let's see what we got going on track here. So looks like a great group of drivers, quite a few names I'm familiar with here, as I've never actually streamed for this league here before. So we're gonna see what lap times definitely look like. Looks like it's gonna be an interesting qualifying session as we get on through this. So I'm very interested to see what our lap times are gonna look like and what the gaps are gonna be between them as these guys get around here. It looks like a lot of drivers are getting out on track very early on in the session here. They really don't want to be wasting too much time in terms of just getting their qualifying laps in and making sure that they can make it over into qualifying too. Basically, we know everyone's going to just be on the soft tires. We're just going to have a quick look at that as we can see. Yep, everyone is currently going to run this on the soft tires at the moment. And so we're just going to keep that off screen in a moment because we don't really need that information at this point in the session. We'll bring that on maybe a bit more over into qualifying 2. We're going to have a look at the race strategy that the guys are going to be planning in terms of getting started with the race itself. As we know here for Silverstone, it's a very short run down into turn 1 and quite a fast-paced sector 1 that we do have here on the track as well. So going to be very interesting to see if we're going to be in any way having a safety car on that opening lap or not. Tends to happen in some cases, just depends on how good or bad the race out actually goes. So we'll see what's going to happen with these set of drivers that we do have. I have seen quite a few drivers driven before in races. A lot of them I'm not familiar with as well. So we'll see what's going to happen as we get on through. Bryce there, I think, has a qualifying ban here, so I don't think he's going to be participating in a session. Probably will retire off maybe a little bit later in it, before the end of Q1. Because he's not going to be allowed for that. I'm not sure if anyone else has any sort of ban. I think I saw mention of another driver having a grid penalty. I'm not sure how many grids it is, but we'll have a look at that in just a bit. Hopefully we can get some more information as well in the session. I'm trying to see what the weather is going to be like for the race session itself. We'll probably have that information provided to us before the end of qualifying though, so we can have just a bit more idea on what's going to be going on with that. Currently following one with switchback here on his current hot lap that he has going in the AlphaTauri at the moment. We're waiting to see what the lap times are going to start to look like. We have a few drivers who I think are about to get across the line there just in a few seconds. We'll probably see some time stuff to come on board in just a bit. And yeah, hopefully some interesting times. We got kilos there, 126.2. Not a bad time so far. Let's see where the rest of the drivers are going to go and what the pace is like around here. We got switchback goes to 126.7, 5/10 off the time, not too far off. So let's see who else is coming around here at the moment. Trying to have a look. I think Aston Martin just went by there. I think that was Cameron there. Went across the line at 125.8. Very interesting lap from him. And going to be a bit harder to beat. But let's see. Might have on Romeo possibly coming across, or this driver getting started on an out lap. Not sure as yet, but let's have a look with the rest of the grid and see what we got going on track here. Looks like we do have Lacorto going around and possibly get across the line in just a bit. So let's see where he goes at the end of this here. Gets across the line, and is that a lap time or not? Doesn't look like it's a lap time as yet. It's getting another lap going then. Unfortunately, possibly invalidated a lap. I'm not sure if he did. Let's have a look. Where is Passassin on track at the moment here? Have seen him race before. And I will go through the standings in just a bit as well for what happened over on round 1 here for Tier 1 with America's Division. So yeah, so there we have it. Bryce has retired from the session, mainly because he has a qualifying ban for this session, so something that happened in the previous race there for round 1. So I'm going to have to just sit this one out and just have a look at his fellow drivers get on through with the qualifying session. On with Passassin here as he gets around the final turn and across the line. Let's see, he does go fastest in the session, a 125.5 so far, 3/10 faster than what Cameron did there. He's currently down to second. Kilo's down to third. He's back in the pits. Aaron down to fourth at the moment at 126.3. We got Tintoretto there, 126.4 up to be 5 at the moment. Switch back down to 6, 126.7. Not too far off of the lap time. Just a few tenths is what's kind of separates these guys at the moment. Nico down to 7. So let's see who else is currently running a lap. Looks like we got Golfi and the Ferrari here trying to get a lap done as well. I think we got majority of the grid so far with some lap times in. So I think I'm definitely looking at some of these drivers might try for another round of laps here. We still got about 10 minutes left in qualifying one. So still, I think a lot of time for the drivers to get some more better lap times in. Golfi goes up to P4, 126.2. Not bad with the times that we have so far. So we're getting a bit more interesting with this. We have a few more drivers, two more drivers currently on out laps there. Like that, I think Carney here currently on a lap in the house. Let's see where he is getting through sector 2 at the moment. So we're going to stay on board a bit and just have a look as he gets through here. Pretty interesting lap times we got going on so far. A lot of 126, mostly 125. Very impressive with the lap times we have at Assassin and Cameron so far. And I think they're holding on to those positions at least for now. It looks like they're going to be guaranteed a spot over in qualifying 2 at this point there. Looks like Kilos is already out of the session, but a 126.2, and that time is actually going to hold for him, and it's possibly going to take him over to qualifying 2 as well. It's a pretty good time. I think it most likely should hold through the session. So we got Lucifer and Pulowski currently on outlaps. David there still in the pits. And looks like Bubber is out of the session. I'm not sure if Bubber has any sort of penalties. That's why he hasn't participated in the session, or maybe he just had a DNF on his outlap possibly, or trying on his current outlap. I'm not sure what happened with that, but we'll have probably more information on that later on as we get on through this. Okay, so Carney goes third fastest so far, 126.1. Pretty interesting with the lap times as we've seen it so far. Assassin still holds on to fastest lap here. So interested to see where if anyone is going to be able to beat that time, or maybe we'll look a bit more over that in qualifying 3, where they're definitely going to be competing a bit for the fastest lap in that session, just to make sure they can start P1 on the grid. Pulowski currently on a lap here, getting through sector 1 there still. Let's see where the McLaren driver goes at the end of this current lap. So far looking pretty good. I'm not sure if he's getting any purple sectors at the by this. Let's see what's going to happen though as he gets into sector 2. And not a purple sector, but still could be a pretty good lap. We're going to keep an eye on it and let's see what's going to happen. Have requested for some weather information. Hopefully we can have that coming on through. Apologies if you guys are hearing a few clicks in the background. It's just my keyboard just trying to get some information on weather or any other information we can get in the session that we do need to work through with here at the moment. So a few drivers out of the session so far. We're still on with Pulowski here on this current lap, getting into sector 3. Let's see what this lap time is going to look like, because it still has to finish this lap. But it's looking decently well so far. We got David Boyer there on the lap as well. Lucifer, Shahid probably on a lap as well. So we'll see where they go at. Hopefully haven't invalidate that lap. Can tend to happen at the worst possible time. Okay, so let's see as the McLaren driver gets across the line. Let's see what happens on that. So Pulowski goes 127.3 so far. Not the worst possible lap, but still puts him in a pretty good position, because remember, we're looking at top 15 to go over to qualifying 2. Of course, with Price retiring from the session, not sure if he's going to be affecting their numbers that go over to Q2, but he did wait a bit just before retiring, so that might actually help things out. We'll see what's going to happen with that. Welcome to everyone currently joining us on the stream. Glad to have you guys on. So sunny quality and mostly sunny race. I like the sound of that, mostly sunny race, which means we're possibly going to have maybe a bit of drizzle or a bit of rain in the race session itself. Might have to switch over to those intermediates, maybe at the start or maybe down to the end of the race. I have seen a lot of different races where drivers had to just make a quick switch down at the final few laps onto the intermediates, because the track starts to get just a bit too wet with a little bit of rain that usually comes on through in the last 20 to 15% of the race at least or so. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. But so far so good here with the qualifying that we had. Let's have a look who else is left. So Lucifer here, only driver left to make a lap time in, and looks like he's currently on an invalidated lap there. So definitely has to get that started again, and we'll see where it goes at the end of this. Okay, sorry about that. Back on with this. So see we're still on with Lucifer here. Has not made a lap as yet. Let's see. He's about to finish one here right about now. Let's see if he does get a lap time in and gets across the line. Where does he go? P12 at the moment, a 127.3. Not too bad at all. Let's get on out in front in Toretto here, possibly on another lap at the moment. Let's see if there's going to be an improvement. Now, currently, it looks like an invalidated lap, so doesn't look like it's going to make it on over for that. Got Laquito here in our current out lap, and let's see if that's going to be anything different, because he needs to just move up a few grid spots at the moment just to make sure that he can make it over to qualifying 2, because it's a bit of a dangerous spot to be in there only on P14, because I'm afraid of somehow you might just be less than 15 drivers going over to Q2 at this point, especially with Bryce having to retire a bit early off in the session. Does tend to sometimes affect the grid order going to. But let's see how this works out. It might just work out in his favor here for him to actually make it on over. Okay, so getting back into this, sorry about that discussion for a second. Let me have a look, see what's going on out in front here. I see Aaron is on another lap here right about now. Assassin's still in the pits there, 125.5, which he had from his first lap that he did. I don't think he did another lap, because that lap time has just held on true for him as the fastest lap in the session. Cameron's still second fastest, but he's out in the session already, 125.8. Currently just about 2 minutes left in qualifying 1 here, and it's looking pretty good for a lot of drivers here right about now. A few drivers currently in a bit on the drop zone side of things. We know Bryce is going to be out to this. Barbers will be out. Let's see who else might be knocked off of qualifying 2, just because of the way things are going here in the session at the moment with the numbers that we have. We might have a bit of change in that, but definitely looking forward to what's going to happen over on the race itself. We know the qualifying is going to be dry all the way through, but I'm quite interested to see what's going to happen over in the race session. If it's going to have a bit of rain at the start or a bit of rain at the end, or if it's going to happen down in the middle of the race. Might just mix things up just a bit. Haven't seen one of those happen in quite a bit, but usually we have them at the start of the race or at the end, not so much always somewhere in the middle, and then just closes off and goes back to dry. So usually a dry, wet, dry. We usually have either a wet, dry or a dry, wet. So I want to see how this one is actually going to work out. I'm hoping for possibly a dry, wet, dry. Going to be quite interesting. We got Passassin back out on the out lap right now. I want to see if he's trying to beat his own lap time at this point here. But is he going to make it back all the way around the track? I highly doubt he might. How many times is left? It's about 57 seconds. Takes about a minute, 26 seconds to get around here. And he's getting to sector 2 right about now. I highly doubt he might be making it all the way over back. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. Okay, so I think we're about closing off this session here right about now. I highly doubt he's just 9 seconds remaining. He's not making it across the line to try another lap here. Did get out just a bit too late with that, so I'm just waiting for everyone to close out the session. We can see what's going to happen down at the end of this. I wonder if El Vigal here is going to make another lap. Where is he on track? No, definitely not going to get that lap started as well there. So a few drivers were trying to get laps started, but I don't think anyone is going to be able to get their lap started with the way things are going. That's probably going to be it. Did Assassin actually get around the track that fast and get around for this lap here? Let's have a look. He's actually on a fast lap. because it looks like he didn't actually get it wrong, but I'm trying to see what's going on with this. Either way, we're at the end of qualifying 1 here, just waiting for every driver to finish off whatever it is they're doing on track, see if we're going to have anything change on the grid order, and then let's see what's going to happen in terms of the grid order going over to qualifying 2 at this point here. Has been quite interesting in qualifying 1. Like, every driver getting out a bit early. We got a lot of 126s on track, and it's looking pretty good so far, gotta be honest. I'm just going to keep it on this here. Let's see if Assassin is possibly making a lap here or not, as he's pushing as crazy on this current lap that he's doing. Not even sure he made it across the line, but he did obviously make it across the line if he's still running the lap without that checker flag showing alongside his name there. So let's see if this is actually working out for him, and if he's actually going to make a faster lap than what he currently has there in that Alpine. So about to get through the final sector at the moment. Once it on board as it gets across the line, actually goes just a bit faster, but goes a 125.2, about a 10 faster, or just over a 10, but still quite impressive of a lap, and he still holds on to fastest lap here in qualifying 1. Now we're just waiting for everyone else to finish off so we can have a look at what's going to happen. Cameron still holds on to the second fastest lap, as we got Tintoretto getting back into the pits there. Why is Liquito getting out on a lap right now? Okay, so currently as I have, we're just waiting on for everyone to just get off the session here so we can move on over into I think just about everyone possibly is done. I know Tintoretto is getting back into his pit lane right now. Liquito down at the bottom here, not sure why he got out on track this late, but somehow is getting a lap done apparently. So let's just have a look at that. Final driver on track to possibly try and get a lap time in here, as it seems at the moment. Let's see if this is gonna be and interestingly enough, we're gonna have 3 AIs join us on track. Looks like the guys have added that in, so good. That should be fun to deal with. Looks like they will be starting 18, 19, and 28 on the grid, though, just to make a full grid of drivers where they're going to be doing that. So I think that this is probably the first time on stream I have seen that one done. So that was going to be interesting for me as well. Let's see where those drivers place at the end of this. Seems some of our drivers are reporting they are struggling a bit on the track. Not sure, probably maybe to do with the setups of the car, or not sure. They just maybe not enough practice on the track. Who knows what it is? I think that's the end of the end of the session there. Yep, there is 50 something wrong with the lobby. Because we got one driver going again and again on outlaps, and the time remaining is 1 second, and it's been stuck on that. So definitely something's wrong with the lobby here at the moment. Alright, so we possibly may be having a bit of a glitch happening with the lobby at the moment here. Just waiting on information from the league itself, what the guys are going to be doing there. So let's see what's going to happen in that case. We possibly might have to just get another session going. Let me just make a bit of a switch here. Okay, so we seemingly seem to be fixed with that so far. I don't know what happened. I think our driver had to leave or something for that to be fixed. Anyway, so qualifying one results as we have it so far. Assassin there, fastest guy in the session. And now Pink Cameron so far second fastest. We got Tintoretto third. We got El Vigal in fourth. Carney in fifth. We got Killers there in sixth. We got Golfy in seventh. Aaron in eighth. We got David in ninth. Switchback in 10th. Nico 11. Lucifer in 12. We got Pulowski in 13, we got Laporte in 14, and we got Velo in 15. Did anyone make it else? What's happening? So Bryce we know is out 16. He's going to start just because of the qualifying ban that he did had from the previous race session. Okay, so into qualifying 2, we get our top 15 drivers in this, and let's get a few stats on the screen. Meanwhile, these guys are setting up to get out on track here. I think we're going to put lap data on, leave telemetry off, and I'm going to put on tires on this one because I want to see what tires these guys are going to be choosing to qualify on in this case, because as we know, in qualifying 2, whatever set of tires they do their fastest laps on, they're going to have to start the race on those same set of tires in the race, provided, of course, they make it into the top 10 for qualifying 3, and it is a dry race start, which we're not 100% sure about it on this occasion here, because we do expect maybe just a bit of rain in the race. But if it is going to be starting the start of the race itself, they're going to have to start in intermediates, and they have that free choice to go on from there onwards in the session. So we'll see how that's going to work out. But so far, has been quite an interesting qualifying 1. We're getting started with qualifying 2. Down to already just under 40 minutes. It's only a 15-minute session. Goes away pretty quickly. Qualifying 3 even faster as it goes through that 12 minutes. So let's see what our drivers are going to be up to as they all get out on track here. Alright, so I think not everyone as yet, but I think at least half of the grid currently at the moment have gotten started on their out laps here. So we're definitely looking forward to see some hot laps coming in pretty soon. In the meanwhile here, I'm just going to have a look if we can have a quick look at something. Okay, so we should have some drivers start to get on with their laps here in just a bit. Hopefully we don't have much disconnection happening, but I think Laporte had disconnected from the session just so that we could get that glitch over it. Luckily that was actually fixed, and we didn't have to just restart the lobby or something to actually get that fixed there, because that does tend to happen sometimes as well. Let's go on with Carney here at the moment. I switch over and over here cam. I think most of our drivers are currently out on the track and getting their lap going here. What's happening down at the back of the grid here. Let's see where El Vigal is at the moment. Did have a pretty good qualifying 1, so let's see how qualifying 2 is going to go. Of course, we're looking at the tire strategy itself here and see what's happening. We got a few of these guys running on the mediums at the moment, and most of them seem to be choosing to go on the softs. Of course, some on the mediums might actually make a switch to those softs, just depending on how their laps go and how far best of lap time they actually get. We'll see what's going to happen in that case. So far, most of them currently trying to do this on the soft tires. Just a few on the mediums. I want to see what the comparison is going to be between these guys as they get across the line. Let's keep an eye and see who's going to be first on this one here. I'm trying to switch it back to see where all of our drivers currently are at the moment. Okay, so Killers is now getting started on his lap. Looks like Tintoretto might be finishing off his lap pretty soon. I'm not sure if that Mercedes in front of him is getting a lap time in, and actually does. Lucifer there, 127.8 so far here for qualifying 2, and that's on the mediums as well. We're on with the Williams driver here. Let's see where he goes. Fastest in the session now on the softs at 126.2. Not surprising at all that we know the soft tires are a bit faster. We got Switchback going 126.6 for 10 slower there. Not too bad of a time. We got a yellow flag situation happening in end of sector 2 there, I think. Let's have a look and see who is going to be our next car coming around here. Where is Carney on track? I think he is pushing R2 for a lap. Let's keep on with him here at the moment. Does have an Alpine behind of him. Not sure which car that is. Possibly Passassin coming there. I think I'm not even sure at this point. Let's just wait and see what's the case with that there. Alright, so Carney goes 126.6, goes up into P3. Passassin goes fastest in the session now, 125.5. So he was behind Carney and running there. So fastest lap goes to Passassin once again in the session. Let's see if that's going to be the situation going all the way through. Where is Golfy on track at the moment? I think he's just getting started on his current lap. Killers there should be getting into sector 3 in just a bit. David has invalidated whatever he's currently running on. Liquito there still on an out lap, so we're gonna let that be for now. Cameron here, who was I think was second fastest in the previous session. Let's see where he goes at the end of this. I think we should be having a few more drivers finish off their laps earlier on, though. Let's have a quick look if we can here. Alright, so we're going to stay on the kilos at the moment, see where he finishes and how higher up he's going to go in the grid. He's currently on the soft tires there as well, so should be able to get a pretty good lap in. Now we're going to have a look at these drivers on the medium to see if they're going to try to get a faster lap in or not. As he gets across the line, goes 8, currently at 157.8, not the best of lap there from him. So let's see if there's going to be any sort of improvement coming off of that. So far, Carney up to 3rd, Switchback 4th, Aaron currently 5th, Nico currently 6th. We got Lucifer down to 7th here at the moment. Killers there definitely have to improve that lap. It's not going to be anywhere near as good enough as needed at this point. I think we got a McLaren about to get across the line here as he gets around, goes 6th fastest at 127.3. Not a bad lap at all at this point. Looks like Passassin is retired from the session. He's quite happy with that lap time that he has and wants to start the race on the soft, provided it's a dry race start. We'll see how it works out. 125.5. He knows he's going to make it over into qualifying 3 with the lap time that he currently has. So we'll see what the situation is going to be with that. Villeneuve here going to 11th fastest so far, 128.9. Not the best of lap, but still going to hold him in a pretty good position. Needs to improve it by at least a second and a half or more just to make it into the top 10 at this point, because he does have to try and make it over into qualifying 3. We'll see how that's going to work out. David here on another lap at the moment, about to finish this off in the Williams. Let's see where he's going to go. His teammate currently 3rd on the grid with a pretty good lap time, so he does need to make sure that car makes it over into qualifying 3, just even to make the team happy at this point here. And actually does a pretty good job, goes just behind his teammate in P4 now, 126.3, only a 10th off of his teammate's time, so doing pretty well following on with that. Of course, did about 2 laps on those soft tires to get that lap done, because he did invalidate his previous lap, so he's probably going to have to start this race on these same set of tires here, unless he goes on to a new set of softs and gets back out, does a faster lap. Then it's going to be a whole different story at that point. But back on, I think where did he go at this point here? Oh, so I'm trying to have a look. Oh, so Liquito, we just went up 1 position there, up into 13th, 132.5, not the best of lap. We'll have to try and improve upon that at some point. We got the Aston Martin of Cameron here, 2nd fastest in the session, 125.6. He's going to hold on to that time at least for now. It's only a 10th of the time at the moment that Passassin did, so he's looking pretty good. Tinto still holding on to 3rd. He's out of the session obviously right now. David here up to 4th. Impressive time for him. Carney into 5th, 126.6. Needs a few tenths more and can possibly get a bit higher up. But of course, the point here is to get over into qualifying 3 at this point. And then they're going to be worried about starting positions on the grid itself for that top 10. We'll see what's going to happen. Let's have a few cars currently in the pits there. I think Villeneuve already finished his lap. I'm not sure he's going on another one here. Let's have a quick look though to see what the situation is. Looks like he is trying for another lap, so hopefully he's able to improve his time from 128.6 and possibly put that car somewhere, maybe around 6th or 7th on the grid. We're going to keep an eye on, see what this current lap is going to look like here. And as we have it here, we currently got about average about 6 minutes 15 seconds down left in the session here for qualifying 2. So looking pretty interesting so far. I think at the start of qualifying 3, we're going to have a quick look at the recurrent standings with constructors and with the drivers standings as well, just to see where the drivers are at the moment for who's gained points so far for round 1 for the season. Or for this current season at least, for F1 2021. So Villeneuve is not going to finish that lap. Look right here on a lap and then in that AlphaTauri, really trying to improve his time. We got Vigal there on an out lap at the moment. He needs to get a time in to avoid being left out of qualifying 3 at this point here. And this is an invalidated lap so far from Lequeto here. Gonna have to try it again. And quite sure to kicking themselves whenever that happens, because no one wants to invalidate a lap here. It does take up a lot of your time. So Cameron has retired. So top 3 have retired off the session. They're quite happy with their lap times, and they're just going to be waiting for the next session to get started here. So Kilos are currently 5th on the grid, trying to get another lap in at the moment. Let's see if that's going to be possible to get a faster time in at a 126.4. And he's still running on a next set of softs here, I think. Possibly just trying to get us. So we can see most of our drivers have done their laps on the soft tires. Just about 3 drivers currently on the mediums. 2 of them within that top 10, 1 out of it. So we might have Lequeto possibly try to go on to the softs before the session closes off. Just to try and get a lap in. We'll see how that's going to work out. Lucifer here down in 12. In the drop zone at the moment. If that Mercedes want to possibly get that into the top 10 if he can. His teammate Aaron currently in 10th. Okay, so back on with this again. Where is El Vigan here on the track? And it looks like he's getting across the line here right now. Is he... No, sorry, he's not getting across the line. I talked to as it was. In Sector 2 getting around the track here. Doesn't look like he's on a fast lap though, so I'm not sure what this lap is going to look like for him. We're going to keep an eye on this and see how this goes on through. It's still looking pretty good here in qualifying 2. Some pretty interesting lap times. Most of these guys have done this on the soft tire. We still got one driver currently in the top 10 who's done it on the mediums. That's Gulfy there, 126.7. Quite sure if he does try it with a different set of tire, might get a faster time. I think we're close up to the end. 3 minutes left in the session right now. Doesn't look like Lequeto is going to try this on soft tires. He's going to just be pushing it as much as he can on those mediums. Problem here is that he's going to be left out of qualifying 3 with our lap time. We only need the top 10 to go on over, so I would have assumed he would have possibly tried to get it on a set of softs if he's not getting through with the mediums in terms of getting a faster lap time here. But let's see what's going to happen. On with Plowski here at the moment on fresh soft tires, trying to get a better lap in. Currently 12th on the grid. Definitely wants to get into the top 10 into Q3 and possibly try to get a really good starting position just to get some points in for the team as well. The only McLaren currently running here and now gets into the top 10 into P4, 126.2. Pretty impressive lap from him, and he's going to hold on to that for now. Might actually hold on to it going over to the next session. David currently down to 5th, Nico in 6th, we got Kilos in 7th, Carney 8th, Switchback in 9th, and Golfy currently in the drop zone there in 10th. Stands a chance of getting knocked off of that. He's currently in the pits. Let's have a look. Is he getting out or is he getting back into the pits? Right, I think he's getting back in at the moment. Lucifer getting back in as well. Where is Aaron on track? I think he's still trying to get a better lap in at the moment here on board. Not sure if he's going to be able to make this lap in or not, because we're starting to run out of time here. And there he goes, having a bit of a spin. Tries to keep the car from going in the barriers of the set, but that's going to be it for him. Highly doubt he's going to be able to get a better time in there right about now. Villeneuve here trying to get a next lap in, possibly trying to get himself over into qualifying 3. Let's see if this is actually going to work for him or not. At the moment, not looking as it will. So far as we have it, Assassin there, fastest guy in Q1. So far, fastest guy here in Q2. Let's see if he's going to repeat that over in qualifying 3. We still can't have anything happen here before this session comes off to an end. El Vigal still holding on to P3 at the moment now. Tintoretto down to 5th. Switchback takes over 4th with a 126.261. El Vigal there, just about 600 of a second faster up in P3. And a pretty impressive time between the two of them. So very close off with the lap times we have. So I think we're looking forward to some very close racing over when we do get onto that race session. We'll see how well this actually is going to play on through. But I think it's going to be quite an interesting opening lap. If things don't go as planned, it might actually end pretty badly and maybe in a safety car on that opening lap, even by the end of Sector 1. But I think we should possibly have a very clean start. We'll see how well it's actually going to go before that session there. Well, hopefully it's a dry start, because I think we're looking forward to a dry start. Possibly the rain later on in the session, just to switch things up just a bit and just force drivers to change their strategy and whatnot. We'll see how that works out. Currently about 13 to 12 seconds left in the session. I think we're about to close that off here right now and get on over to the next session now. Okay, so I think that is it there for qualifying 2. Let's just wait on bit for the results to get on screen here. We can have a quick look at that on our top 10 drivers. So we can already see who they're going to be here. Getting over to qualifying 3. I don't think Velo is going to be able to make that time to get on over there. Currently has a 128.5. Carney currently in 10th. Looks like he might just barely make it over to qualifying 3 at this point with his 126.6 that he currently has. I have just about 3 or 4 drivers running on the track still. Hopefully, going to be finishing off, just finish out the lap rather than going to the pits. I think Vino already went into the pits there. Alright, so we got cars getting back into the pits and should be closing off this session here. I think we got everybody in back into the pits right now. So closing off here, current qualifying 2, and we're going to have a quick look at the results before heading straight on over into qualifying 3. That's going to last us about 12 minutes, and then we get straight into the most exciting and the part that we've been waiting for so far, that race session there. See how well that race start is going to go. Now we're just waiting for those pit crews to actually just get the cars into the pit lane itself. Alright guys, there, so we have it. Results there for qualifying 2 here, and we got Possessing once again getting the fastest lap in the session. Cameron second fastest, only down by a 10 there. We got El Vigal there currently 3rd, Switchback currently 4th, Tintoretto in 5th, Pelowski in 6th, David in 7th, we got Nico 8th, we got Kilos RP in 9th, and Carney qualifies in 10th currently at the moment. To go over to qualifying 3, the only guy who's going to be starting the race on the mediums, provided we have a dry start. We'll see how well that is going to go on over there in the race session itself. So it looks like we're going to have Golfy start 11, Lucifer in 12, Villo in 13, we got Loqueto in 14, and Aaron there in 15. Let's have a look and see what's going to happen over in the qualifying 3 session. What our starting order for that is going to be, not sure, but it's looking pretty good between Possessing and Cameron so far for a front row start. Not sure if that's going to hold through qualifying 3, but let's see what's going to happen, because everyone's going to be running on the soft tires fully through the session. Should have at least 2 to 3 sets of lap, possibly, depending on how much lap these guys actually plan to run here. So we'll see what's going to happen in that case there. Okay, so here we go into qualifying 3. We got 12 minutes already getting started on the track. Let's put on lap data, and we know everyone's going to be running on the soft tires. We're not going to keep that on screen. Now, in the meanwhile, we're just waiting for everyone to get out on track. I think we're just going to have a quick look at the constructor standings as it is so far after round 1 here with Prospect eRacing League for America's Division Tier 1. Looks like we have Alpine currently leading the constructor standings with 46 points. We got AlphaTauri currently 2nd in the order with that there. McLaren currently holds 3rd with 32 points, only 3 points off of AlphaTauri. So pretty interesting with that. Aston Martin down to 4th with 22 points. We got Alfa Romeo currently 18 points there in 5th. We got Ferrari currently 17 points, holds 6th position on that with the standings. Haas there 15 points in 7th. We got Mercedes down to to 8 right now with only 10 points. Williams currently 6 points in ninth, and it looks like Red Bull currently has not scored any points. And it's, but of course it's only after round 1. You see they're currently going through round 2 here, so let's see what's gonna happen at after this. Anything could go, and we could lead to some of these teams getting even a better position after this race. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. In the meanwhile, we have quite a few cars getting out on track here at the moment. Let's have a look at the driver standings as we're at it here. So it looks like we do have Passassin currently leading the driver standings here for Tier 1 on the Americas division for Prospect eRacing with 46 points as it is at the moment. If that's correct, what I do have there, we got Hunter currently 32, we got Switchback currently 27, Cameron currently 22, we got Sings there with 18, we got Kilos there 15, we got Golfy 12, we got Lucifer currently 10 points, we got Liquidity there with 8 points, we got Tintoretto with 6 points as he goes down. So that's the top 10 so far that does have points there so far with the Tier 1 here for America's division. So quite interested that we bring that up back if we do need to have another look at it. But I don't know, let's get on back on track here and see what's going to be happening. Let's see who's going to be the first driver to get started. Looks like Tintoretto here might be the first guy to get a lap in as he just gets across the line there and now gets started on a hot lap. Let's have a quick look on board with him as he gets through sector 1 here. Bit of a heavy braking zone into this one here, and needs to be a bit careful as well just to avoid losing the rear as he gets around there and switches it back to the next turn. But so far so good with qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. Looking to a pretty interesting qualifying 3 session. Let's see how this is going to go. Always an interesting run through here, through that old start finish straight down at the back here. Going to be an interesting point during the race as well. Let's see how many overtakes happen through that section there. And that is the Williams driver almost DNFing the session there. Barely saves the car actually. And he's going to try to get back on track here right about now. And he's going to have to get another lap going there, unfortunately for that. So it looks like we have Carney here out in front right about now. He's on a lap, so we're going to continue on board with him to finish off this current lap. And let's see what's going to happen in this case, because looking pretty good with the laps going. Hopefully they don't invalidate. Unfortunately for Tintoretto there, we'll have to guess. Really actually lose some time there now in qualifying. Remember, we got only 12 minutes total in this session, already down to 8 minutes 10 seconds and going on through. About to have Carney go across the line here, and let's see how fast he actually goes. At 126.0, is that going to do it to keep him on provisional pole? I'm not sure it will. Let's see what's going to happen. The rest of the drivers coming on through. We know we're going to get some 125s here. Now we got Cameron going on 125.3, takes our provisional pole so far. El Vigal there now goes down to 4th as Passassin takes over provisional pole to 125.2, only a 10th faster than what Cameron did. So these two are pretty close throughout the entire qualifying session. Qualifying 1, 2, and 3 coming all the way to this point. They have been just about a 10th off of each other's time. So looking forward to a very, very competitive race between these two. That is if they don't take each other out of the race, of course. Never know what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. I think we have Switchback about to get it wrong here. Of course, we have David coming behind of him. Let's see what the lap times are going to look like for these two. Switchback is about to cross the line. He goes 4th fastest, 126.1. We got David going 5th fastest, 126.2. Only a 10th after 3 tenths lower than that is Nico there in 6th. Pushes El Vigal down to 7. We got Kilos here coming around in sector 2 now. I'm going to try to get a lap in. Tintoretto back into the pits, going to get a fresh set of tires on, then get out here on track. Pelowski on an out lap here at the moment, and about to get started. As you can see on the map there at the side, he now gets started on his hot lap as Kilos here is about to come to the end of his. So let's see where he goes on the grid, and then we're going to have a quick look at Pelowski as he gets around there. So far looking pretty good with lap time. We got quite a few 126, 128, and 2 125s, and it's looking pretty good on that front row for the start. Definitely going to be interesting into turn 1 itself to see how this is going to go. Alright, so we got Kilos here about to finish off this current lap. So he gets across the line, goes 3rd fastest here, 125.7. Pretty impressive lap from him. Only about 4 tenths off the time that Cameron did. So he's really pretty close after them. Might provide a good challenge for those two out front as they're fighting for positions at the start of the race. We're going to switch on over to McLaren here with Pelowski at the moment. See where he is. Getting through sector 2 at this time, so let's see what his lap time is going to look like. Hasn't been too bad so far. He's made it all the way over to qualifying 3. Gotta give it to him for that. And only McLaren currently here in Q3 as well, so hopefully he can get a pretty good starting position. I think he's slowing down because he just invalidated a lap there. Unfortunately for that, we're going to go back to Tintoretto here, who's still on his current out lap. Needs to get started on the lap. Had a pretty bad run on his opening first hot lap there, where he had a bit of a spin, barely saved the car from taking damage or even getting into the barriers to the side and possibly DNFing the session, and that would have been him starting P10. So he's slowing down a bit here right now, just trying to get himself set up to get this lap going here at this point. We're going to have a rest of the drivers possibly get out back on track in just a minute or two to get another hot lap in, trying to improve the time as much as they can. We know Assassin and Cameron, definitely these two are going to get back out on track. They're going to be fighting it down to all the way to the end of the session in the next 5 minutes for our professional pool to start the British Grand Prix. Always an interesting race here, and this is going to be very interesting as well with those top 3, the lap times that they're doing so close off together, just a 10th off for top 2, and then close here joining them only about 4 tenths off, so he's still a pretty impressive lap time from him. So let's see what the rest of the session holds on here for us. We got just about 4.5 minutes left here now. Time is going on very, very quickly as well with this qualifying. Okay, so down to just under 3.5 minutes remaining right about now in qualifying 3, and I'm trying to have a look, see if we're gonna have drivers get back out on track. So it looks like we do have Carney back out here, getting through sector 1 right now, trying to make a faster time, and I'm trying to have a look. Is Assassin and Cameron and Kilo's gonna get back out on track here? Possibly try to get another lap in before the end of the session, just to see if Cameron or Kilos can possibly take away professional pole away from Assassin. He currently leads the drivers standings at the moment, so let's see if that's going to change after this race, or if he's just going to continue with even a bigger lead. If he does win this race, that's what it's actually going to lead to. So let's see what's going to happen in that case. At the moment, it's looking pretty good for him in terms of starting on the front row there, along with Cameron. Just going to be right alongside him though to go into turn 1. It's going to be very interesting and very heated between the two of them. Kilos, they're joining that battle as well. I'd highly doubt Carney's going to be too far behind, trying to get on through with the overtakes and possibly, hopefully, just not causing any sort of incident. We'll see how it goes though. And yeah, we definitely have some interesting lap times there. Very, very close off. Just a tenth or 2 off of each other right about now. Look at Tintoretto and El Vigal right about now. 126.310, 126.339 is only off by just under about 200 of a second at the moment. It's about 1/900 of a second, I would say, or 1/100 of a second. Really, really close off. So, gonna be very interested to see what's going to happen at the start of this race here. We obviously got David just ahead of them, but only a second, by only 10, sorry, about a moment, and another 10th ahead of Switchback there. So it's looking pretty good so far. Now we got Passassin on an out lap. We got Cameron still in the pits. He's getting out. We got a minute 42 seconds left in this session, and they're gonna get out on an out lap now. It's gonna be one last go around the Silverstone circuit here for a possible improved lap time. In terms of a Passassin there, he's gonna try to keep provisional pole for the start of this race. Cameron, they're gonna try to possibly get ahead of Passassin and take away that provisional pole, or at least keep his second grid place position here for the start. Now, once again, I think there was mention of a driver having a grid penalty for the start of this race. Not sure if that was Pisasan or not, but definitely was someone. We'll see if anything's going to change before the race actually is ready to get started here. See, where is Carney on track? Looks like Carney's going to get back into the pits. Pilowski's still running a lap, I think, here. Let's have a look on board with the McLaren driver flying through the track here right about now in Sector 3. And looks like he is going to finish his lap. Definitely should be able to get a lap time in. Let's see what it's actually going to look like as he gets around the final 2 turns. And now one final turn more to go back onto the pit straight. And let's see where he goes as he goes across the line here. Did invalidate, but didn't get a time in either. Not sure I didn't get the time in. Just see that happening quite a lot. So I don't know, maybe did something on the previous lap. Either way, let's get back on over here with Pisasan here. At the moment, we're gonna stay on the overcam with the Alpine driver. See what this lap time is gonna be looking like. I think we got something going on. Are we switching off the lobby here right about now? Guys, apologies about that. So we are back in with this here right about now. So on with Cameron, lost his front wing, not getting a fastest time in here. Looks like we're at the end of qualifying 3, just waiting for him to get back into the pit lane and just get his car back into the garage so we can get over to the race session itself. We're going to have a look at the results here for Q3 right about now and then get over to the race session. We should have the formation lap on, so we'll be able to have a look at the full starting grid for this race session here. Okay, so there we have it. Qualifying 3 results. We got Pisasan taking away provisional pole here from the session. Going to be starting P1 in the race. We got Cameron is going to be starting second, just alongside him on that front. We got Kilo starting third on the grid. We got Carney starting fourth. Elvigon starting fifth. We got Switchback in sixth. We got David in seventh. Tintoretto in eighth. We got Nico there ninth. And we got Pilowski there currently 10th. Let's see if that's going to stand as we get over to the race session here right now. Okay, so once again, we are here with Prospect eRacing League America's Division Tier 1 for round 2 of the current season here for the British Grand Prix. About to get started with the race session here. We should be live with the formation lap here in just a bit, so we should have a full look at the entire starting grid just before getting started with this race. Has been quite an interesting qualifying session so far. Has been Persassin getting the fastest lap so far, Q1, Q2 and Q3. Cameron just behind him with that there as well. So we'll see how those two work out starting at the front of the grid. There should be an exciting start to this race. And right now we're just waiting for that session to load. There goes the timer there, so we should be with the cars on the grid in about 20 seconds or so. Okay, so here we go. Getting started on the formation lap here right about now. It is going to be a 26 lap race around the circuit here as we're on board with Persassin here at the moment. We're going to get a few stats up on screen, get our lap data on, relief telemetry off, and now we're going to get tires on here at the moment. We can have a look at what the starting grid is looking like with the tires itself. So it looks like we're going to go through the grid. Again, we got 18 drivers in this. We got Persassin starting P1 for this session here as he qualified in P1 for Q1, 2, and 3. Cameron just qualifying just behind him, just by a tenth, missing out on provisional pole start here. So he's going to start second alongside him. Kilo starting third. We got Carney starts fourth. Elfigal starts fifth. We got Switchback starting in 6th. We got David starting 17th. Toretto will start 8th. We got Nico starting in 9th there. We got Pilowski is going to start 10th. We got Golfy starting 11th. I got Lucifer starting 12th. We got Vino starting in 13th. We got Laqueto starting 14th. We do have Aaron starting 15th. Bryce there will have to start 16th. Was unable to participate in qualifying due to a qualifying ban on the previous race session last week. Bobber there will start 17th on the grid. And Polka Face there will be starting 18th. So looks like we do have the second McLaren joining on the session there with us. So I think everything is set so far. We are, of course, going to be changing this over to a position change, so you guys can have a look at that as we get started with the race itself, and we'll switch that around just after the first lap or so, and just have a look and see what the gaps and lap times, what the gaps are basically going to be looking like after the first lap as you get through that. Hopefully a pretty clean lap, and we can hopefully avoid a safety car or a VSC even at the start of this race, because I highly doubt some of these drivers want to be slowing that long, as we do have our car starting to line back up on the grid here right about now. Final driver coming around in the McLaren here, so let's see what's happening with that. Looks like you got somebody falling out of the order down at the back. I'm not possibly Bubbers there, I'm not sure about that. Either way, let's switch this back over here. I think we're just waiting on the final driver to get in slot, and then we should be good to go, which I think he's almost in. So let's go on board right about now. We're gonna stay right here with these two drivers. We got Persassin out on the left, out in front in the Alpine. We got Cameron here in the Aston Martin. We got Kilos behind in the Haas, and his teammate Carney behind of him. So let's see how that's gonna work on the opening lap, getting on through with this. As there we go. So what on earth just happened there? Someone just definitely jumped the start, or that was some serious glitch as these two go side by side into turn 1. And so far so good as Alpine tries to hold out on the lead, but Aston Martin of Cameron gets away with that. He has the inside of the next turn, might actually hold that position as Persassin is trying to fight it back. Almost have contact with the two of them as they get around sector 1 here at the one. Both horses almost come together just a little bit as well as they try to follow on. Here it looks like we got Cameron getting away with the lead right about now. Persassin down to second. He's still trying to fight side by side with the Aston Martin. Not able to pull this back as yet, though. He might just lose that lead for now. Let's see how this goes on through. So far so good with these few cars out in front starting. I'm not sure what the midfield has looking like. The one just trying to keep an eye on these two, see if they're going to be taking each other out of the session or not. Now we're back set with that leaderboard there again. Laqueto, of course, seemed to have jumped the start quite a lot. as he just flew through the entire field. I'm not even sure what happened with that, if that was a glitch or not. Now, right about now, we still have Assassin down in second. He's about 3 tenths behind Cameron, still fighting to get back into the lead of this race. And both of them, well, we got a spin happening. Cameron has a spin down at the back there, and let's see how far down he's actually falling right now. I'm trying to catch up with him, and that seems to be most impossible. He's now all the way down at the back of the grid in 17th at the moment. David there, just the only driver behind of him, who is trying to get back around here. So unfortunate spin there for Cameron in Aston Martin. Had a pretty good start there in second place, got over in the lead of the race, and now Assassin actually has that back. Kilo's now running up into second, has gained a position. Carney gained a position as well because of that. Both Haas running pretty high up in the order at the moment. We're going to keep that going, and let's switch this back over to tires here at the moment and have a look at that. So I'm pretty new on the tires going on through. Probably just take tires off for now until we know they're going to be starting to do some pit stops. Let's see what's happening out front here. Particular leaderboard might just be a bit mixed up here. Once again, we know Assassin is currently leading the race. We got Kilo second and Carney third. Let's have a look in the midfield of the grid, see what's happening so far. I'm trying to see. We know a lot of cars are coming. A bit of a train getting on through here. And we have El Vigal there possibly getting ahead of the AlphaTauri as well. We got Tintoretto just behind of that. So let's see how well he's getting through with that. The Williams driver seem to be trying to get around there. I think the Quidditch car might be having some trouble, possibly glitching out. I'm not even sure what's going on with that at that point there right about now. Gulfi there getting ahead of him in the Ferrari as well. He's up into 8 right now. Pulowski coming behind in the Aston Martin. I think something's definitely up with his car. Let's get on board, see what's happening. I'm not even sure. Is he cutting through the entire track or just coming from this car? Absolutely not sure what's happening with him at the moment. We're going to leave that be for now and just switch on through to the entire grid. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid going downwards the order and see what's happening. We have Pulowski trying to get around that AlphaTauri right about now. Side by side, he goes to them and actually gets the position up. Of course, the AlphaTauri has the inside. We have an Aston Martin, I think, coming just behind of that, and that's possibly Bowers there coming through. Lucifer in the Mercedes just behind of that as well. And I think Pollock here, let's have a look how close he is behind these guys as he gets on through, and he gets past as well, following Lucifer through that. Looks like Kilos gets the fastest lap so far. We now have DRS online as we go into lap 3, and out in front a pretty close gap, which we're going to try to follow on with in just a bit. We got yeah, definitely Lokoto's car is disconnected from this game. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he probably seems to be having some connection issues. As Aaron and Bryce I think have a pretty close gap. But we're going to get back out front here and go on and see what's happening right about now. Looks like we got a bit of an issue. I'm not sure what happened out front. Assassin seems to be down in 4th at the moment, trying to get back ahead. Might have had a bit of a mishap through one of these turns here, and he's now down the order. He's moving back up right now. Just gets back ahead of switchback into P3, and is not going to fight his way around. He's got to now fight his way around actually 2 Haas's to get back into the lead. Not going to go too well on his end. Does have switchback just a 10th behind him, chasing him through that sector, getting through sector 2 there. So far so good as he gets on through. Switchback though following him on in a bit of a slipstream. Now we got about 3 cars trying to fight for a position here side by side. He's going with the AlphaTauri at the moment, trying to keep him behind and having a bit of a difficult time actually getting that done. Switchback trying to push on through, and I think they're using everything they have in these cars right about now. Whoever has the DRS advantage is going to be at a bit more of an advantage. Not sure how much it's going to work us at the moment. We do have Kilos and Carney out front trying to get away with the lead. Looks like Kilos has gotten a bit of a lead against his teammate. Assassin though only about 3 tenths behind Carney there in second, and he's under a lot of pressure right now to keep that position. Assassin of course trying to fight his way back up into the lead and not having the best of luck here. Switchback keeping a very close gap. Nico there now catching up the Switchback as well, so he's going to be fighting for the 4th place in the race. Let's see how well that goes on through. As you can see, these guys are racing just about a 10 to 2 tenths within each other. So far so good with this race session as we have it. Some very close gaps all the way throughout the field. And there goes Assassin as side by side with Carney. Now gets ahead of the Haas and goes back into 2nd place, already about 2 tenths ahead. And now he has to catch up to the leader out front. That's Kilos there, 2.4 seconds. And he's going to have to try his best and possibly get that done within a few laps to try and get back the lead of this race, which I definitely am quite sure he does want here. Cameron there, unfortunate for this Aston Martin driver, started 2nd place on the grid, got up into the lead before the end of Sector 1 and lost that just because of a spin. Unfortunate, but now he's back up in the 15th. He's going to have to fight his way back through the field. Let's see how that's going to work for him. We got Switchback trying to keep up with Carney right about now. A 4-10 gap between them. Looks like someone is falling down the order. Might be El Vigal there having some trouble. Might have had a spin, and looks like he's all the way down there in Sector 2. I'm not sure if he's out of this race as yet or not. Let's go on over here to Switchback on board with him right about now, chasing after Carney. to try and get a position up. He's currently P4. Nico there having a pretty good go at him himself. I'm going to switch this back over here and have a look, see what's happening. So far, so good. Kilo's still leading out front, of course, starting to lose that gap right now. 1.8 seconds, as it was just 1.9 as we had a look, and starting to go further and further down here. So it looks like Assassin is doing a pretty good job of catching up to him. He's definitely going to be under a lot of pressure in terms of keeping that lead. We'll see how this is going to work out. Of course, these guys are running on soft tires out in front here, and I think they're going to push as much as they can. Of course, we do have Carney here running on the mediums. Let's switch on back to tires so you guys can have a look at that, see what's happening on track here at the moment. Sorry, I just took everything off screen for a second there. So there we have it. So Carney out in front running on the mediums, Gulfy running on mediums, Bubba's running on mediums. We got Aaron there running on hard so far. We have David on the back. He's the only driver I think took a pit stop in this race so far. Everyone else haven't done a pit stop as yet. Those on the soft tires will have to think about doing a stop at some point in this race, maybe after lap 10 or so. We'll see how long these tires last. So these guys out front are pushing quite a bit here just to keep their positions or try to gain a position. Out in front right now, we do have Assassin now catching up. This gap is now under a second between him and Kilos RP for the lead of this race, and it's not going well for Kilos. He needs to try to break to get a gap back over a second, because we have Assassin now going to have the DRS advantage and try to possibly get that overtake done before the end of the next lap if he can, or maybe another 2 laps or so before he's within striking distance and possibly getting that overtake done. Let's see how that's going. It's down to 8 tenths, now down to 7 tenths as they get across the line into lap 6. We still got another 20.5 laps or so more to go in this race. Got Addy Lamb, they're having some support for Achilles out front. I think he's having the time of his life leading this race, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure right now. And I think he's starting to feel that as Assassin is catching up. Gap is down to 4 tenths and continues to break on down as we continue with this race halfway through lap 6 right now. We got Carney though losing a bit of time to Assassin as he's down by a second. And he's starting to fall out of the DRS range, which is not going to be good on his end. He's of course running on the mediums. Might be a bit of his disadvantage as we have Assassin taking over the lead already ahead of the Haas driver here. So Kilos is now down to second. Was a good run leading that race, but unfortunately he was not able to keep it going on through. We're going to follow on with the rest of the grid further down to the order here. Now have a look what's happening. Pulowski down in 7, chasing after the Ferrari in front of him. Let's see how that gap is working out, because he has a car behind him. I think that's Aston Martin of Bumpers behind. Looks like Kilos is now down to 3rd. What's happening out front with him? Might have had maybe a bit of a spin or just made a bit of a mistake, because he now has Switchback catching up to him and about to get by as well. And looks like both of them go into the pit lane at the same time, both on the soft tires, and let's see how that pit stop is going to go there. Alright, so we got Kilos getting back out here, and looks like he is going to go on the medium. Switchback has made the same choice, going on to the mediums as well. This is currently lap 7. Let's see how much they're going to be able to be pushing on those mediums. Are they going to be doing a second stop in this race or not? I'm not sure as yet how much they're actually going to be able to push here, because they have done just about 6 laps on the soft tires, and looks like those are already done for them. They've decided to make a stop and they're back out on track. Let's see what's going to happen out in front here. Currently as it is, we got Villeneuve following on behind him. He's in 14th, about 9 tenths behind. Of course, he's on all medium tires, so we're going to see how that works out. Out in front, Assassin continues to lead. Carney in 2nd. He's about 1.6 seconds down the time, and I'm starting to lose a bit more time. Tintoretto up to 3rd here at the moment in the Williams, and he's trying to catch up with these guys. 4.6 seconds out in front of him. And see how that's going to work out. He is on the soft tires, but those soft tires are going to start to go in just a bit. We did expect they might last up to lap 10, but not sure if they're going to be able to. Let's see what's going to happen, because we already got Switchback and Kilos choosing to go on to the mediums at this point, and they're possibly running a 2-stop strategy. We get Assassin into the pits right now. These tires are not lasting much more here, because these guys out front are deciding to pit. They've pushed as much as they could on them, and they're starting to lose some grip, and they're not going to take the chance of losing positions in the race because of this. Of course, Assassin has to look at the fact that Switchback and Kilos decided to do a stop behind of him, so he has to cover this and do a stop. He's going to go on to the mediums right about now. Let's see how long those will last them. as he gets on back out on the track, right, and he has to fight his way back just a bit. We do have Bryce getting ahead of him on that pit stop there, now going into 8th position as Pistassen comes on out. Let's see where he's going to be. Looks like he might go on down to 11th or 12th, actually 11th position here, because this is going to bring Kilos now back up behind him. Let's see what happens in that case, because Kilos comes behind him about 1.8 seconds, so hasn't really gained much time during that stop there against Pistassen, because they're now behind him. Switchback just behind Kilos there as well. Let's see how this goes on through the race. Out in front, El Vigal here trying to get ahead of the Aston Martin in front of him, and goes side by side with this right about now, fighting it through. Looks like he does get a position up, but it goes a little bit wide, and the Aston Martin comes back at this. So Bubba's back up into 9th. Still a 310 gap between them. This could possibly change. Let's see what's going to happen. Down at the back here, I'm looking at Switchback and Kilo switching positions right now, because a bit of a 210 gap that they had for a second ago. So Switchback is now up into 12. He's going to chase after Pistassen for 11th position currently that they're fighting for. And Kilo's definitely having some problems, because he think he did just had a bit of a mistake. He's now down into 16. Cameron now into 15, running behind these guys. He's on fresh mediums here as well, so he's trying to follow on through with them. Of course, he does have Loqueto, and I think Loqueto's car is still disconnected. Vilno, they're running 13, so he needs to catch him and get past that to see what's going to happen. El Vigal here still trying to keep ahead of Bubbers here and possibly keep that position if he can. We got Carney currently leading the British Grand Prix out in front. Tintoretto still running second here. Both of these guys 8 laps on the tires done, and of course Carney leading the race on the mediums. We got Tintoretto running on the softs, and we got Guffey in third now running on the mediums as well. Tintoretto of course will have to pit, as most of our front row drivers have pitted already. We did expect a pit stop happening very soon around lap 10. It seems a few of them have already happened. Those guys I think are running a 2-stop strategy. Of course, Tintoretto here seems to be pushing a bit more on his tires. I'm not sure what the grip level is currently, or what the wear level is at this point here, but he's pushing on through with them. As going to continue on there with Pilowski, and his teammate Polkafacer, who started 18th on the grid, is all the way up into 5th right now. This is insane at the moment, because he's now trying to keep that car out in front. He takes a stop, and he's going to come out right where his teammate is going to be at this point. Looks like we have Kilos back into the pits. He might have taken some damage, which is why he's doing another stop there at the moment. So unfortunate for that. Let's see how that continues on through though. So Bubba's now behind Pistassen, who's currently 10th in the grid and running on through just about a 7-10 gap. Let's have a quick look at this here, because Pistassen is about to get past El Vigal there for P9. Of course, El Vigal there have not done a pit stop so far. Neither has Bryce in front of him, or Aaron, or Lucifer. Quite a few more drivers in front. Actually, none of the drivers in front there more. And we got Tintoretto currently, who's now doing a stop. He's currently getting into the pits. So this is going to get a bit interesting. We already got Pistassen already up into P9. El Vigal down to 10th. He's now 7.6 seconds behind Bryce. Actually not behind Tintoretto. And Tintoretto still in the pits. He's getting out. Let's see if he gets out in front or behind. Looks like he might be getting out behind Pistassen here. Maybe even behind a few more drivers at this point here. So we're going to follow on still. Let's switch on over to Bryce here at the moment. And have a look at the Red Bull driver who's currently chasing after. I think there's some Mercedes in front of him of Aaron there. Let's see how well that is going for him. Having a pretty good run during that slipstream as he gets on through that section there. I think the DRS advantage might have helped him out there as well. A 4:10 gap that he currently has. He's getting back on the old start finish straight down at the back here. Let's see if he's going to have a pretty good run getting through this section of the track and possibly be able to line up and overtake into the next lap here. Down at the back there, as you can see Cameron about to line up an overtake against Vilno there. He's and he already gets it done actually. He's up into 13th on the grid right now and running. So a 6:10 gap currently with Bryce and Aaron. Let's see if this is going to change at any point in the race. We got Pistassen 6.1 seconds behind this. Of course, he's running on the medium. Bryce they're running on all soft tires, which are going to start to really go from him very, very soon as we're into lap 9, approaching into lap 10 with these tires soon. Let's see how that's going to work out. Actually, he's already done about 10 laps on them there. So Pilowski now into the pits. Let's see where he comes out. His teammate, Polkaface, will continue on in the race. Now into P3 at the moment. We also have quite a few drivers currently with penalties here on the grid, so we'll see how that works out. Assassin, of course, not having any penalties. I think it's about 5 drivers or so, maybe 5 or 6 drivers have penalties so far. We'll see how that's going to work out as we get further on into this race. We're going to go on with Aaron here as he chases after his teammate right about now. Has the DRS advantage. He's going to chase him down. Looks like they're going to be working together, and he allows his teammate to go by. He goes up into the lead of the race right about now. Actually, I'm not even sure what on earth is happening out front. Let's see, well, why did the leaderboard just change the order there? Oh, there we go. So, Bubbers goes up into, I don't know why it keeps switching around. This gets me going around and wrong here. Trying to switch to who's leading the race here at the moment, and it's switching around once again. Let's just leave that to be right about now and just go back. Where is Cameron on the grid? He's thinking he was chasing after someone here. Actually, we got 2 drivers behind him. Vilno and Pelowski fighting for a position, I think. And he's showing Pelowski in the pits for some reason. We got a bit of a mix-up and I think a yellow flag situation on track. Assassin with the fastest lap so far, and Vigan gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Gain 2 places just because of doing that, and that's going to be a 5-second stop-go penalty when he gets into the pits. We got a McLaren chasing after Vingo here, about to get his overtake done. Let's see if that's going to work out. Carney still leading the race. Aaron and Lucifer out front just behind each other. I think some pit stops happening out front there as well, as Assassin now moves up into P3 because of those stops. Let's have a look out front and how that's actually working for him. Okay, so gaps will be back online in just a bit. It looks like it's about probably about a 5-second gap to Aaron out in front of him because he has some clean air to work with right about now. He's going to push as much as he can on these tires here. Of course, the cars in front of him have to do stops at some point. Aaron, they're currently on hard tires as it seems, and 11 laps done on them so far. So let's see when he does decide to do a stop. Trying to follow along with our top 3 cars at the moment, having some trouble. Just seeing what the gaps are like here. We do, of course, have Bubber here chasing after Switchback, who is chasing after Passassin, but a big gap exists between Passassin and Switchback right about now, who are looking to take over P1 and P2 of this race. We'll see how that goes for them. At the moment, Bubber's here, 0.9 of a second. That's 9/10 behind Switchback. He is chasing after him, but not the best of gap in terms of catching him here, because it's staying a bit constant at that 9/10 at the moment. Looks like we're about into lap 13 of 26 here, just about the halfway point of the British Grand Prix, and going very, very well so far. Of course, remember guys, we did ask about the weather conditions. They said that we might be expecting just maybe a little bit of rain in this session, which might come very close after the end of this race. I'm suspecting it might happen, if it's going to happen, or we might have maybe just a few minor drizzles that doesn't even need for the drivers to switch onto the intermediate tires. But we'll see how it works out. At the moment, we're going to keep this on the overhead cam as it gets on through with this. A second is a gap between Switchback and Bubbers at the moment as they continue to race on through. Out in front, we have Carney still leading this race. Golfy still in second now. We got Aaron currently third. And we're looking at the tires and not have done a pit stop as yet. They're going to have to go stop at some point here. Now, Gap Assassin currently fourth. He's looking to get back into the lead. Gap is 4.6 seconds. But these guys in front of him are doing an excellent job of keeping the gap as it is. Let's see if that gap is going to drop at any point as we continue on with the session. We'll have a look at the penalties in just a bit as well. A bit further on, maybe around lap 20 in the race, and see what the situation is with that. How many drivers might be losing positions at the end of this race just because of what the penalty situation is. That there's a very, very strong possibility we might have a lot of drivers losing, or of course we'll have some drivers gaining positions as well. We got Bubbers going just a bit wide on track there, and that's kind of what leads to these drivers accumulating more and more penalty. But I'll go down to the bottom of the grid here with El Vigal at the moment, chasing after Nico there for 13th position. Let's have a look on board and see how that battle is actually progressing on through. At the moment, it's an 8-10 gap with El Vigal here. He's trying to close it as much as he can to possibly get another overtake lined up and done here. Also trying to keep an eye out front with Assassin there. He's breaking down that gap. It's down to about 3.8 seconds right now. He's gained about 2 to 3 tenths so far. Now gained about 4 tenths as he continues on the chase behind for Aaron there. still on with this 8-10 gap between Nico and El Vigal here, currently, who are fighting it for a 13th position on the grid at the moment. Of course, we're not taking penalties into consideration at this point. We're going to go on board right about now with Tintoretto. Let's have a look. How far away is he from Bubbers? And not very far, as you can see. That's just about 4 to 5 tenths ahead of him. Trying to keep that, just keep an eye on the gap. Currently still between Aaron and Assassin there for that position. Now down to 2.9 seconds. So he's gaining and gaining time as we continue on with this here at the moment. Okay, so back on with this, Assassin getting the fastest lap as we just had a look there at the moment. Where's the gap? It's about 1.9 seconds, down to 1.8 seconds right now. It's closing and closing. Gap between Bryce and Lucifer here down to about 3 tenths, now down to about 2 tenths. That Red Bull definitely lining up for an overtake here. It looks like El Vigal and Nico just switched positions, and Nico is out of the section. What's happened to his car? I'm trying to have a look on that right now. It's stuck somewhere at the side of the track. There is it on the right hand side of the track there. So something's happened to his car. I'm not sure why he's out. He's off the track though. So might just be a yellow flag in terms of that situation there, and we should be able to continue on with the race. Of course, we're going to go back up front here with Assassin right about now. This gap might be going under a second very soon, as those cars out front running about 14 laps so far on those sides that are currently running. Not too bad for Aaron there, 14 laps on the hards, and he's able to keep that car in P3 all this time. Of course, we do have the gap between him and Assassin being broken down very quickly, and he's going to be looking to lose that position in just a few laps time. So we've lost 2 drivers from this race so far. Kilos there unfortunately out, and Nico out of the race as well. That leaves us with about 16 drivers in here. I'm not sure if Lacorte is connected though. So I think we'll probably have to count that as 15. Let's have a look quickly along in the back here. He seems to be connected. Not sure if everything is going as planned here. Golfy into the pits right now. 15 laps down on the mediums. Decided it's time to get rid of these and get a new set. Possibly soft tires on, which I think is what he's going to do. Let's have a look. Yep, definitely getting the soft tires on right now. I'm going to push as much as he can to the end of the race, because he now has to chase after Assassin. Let's see what the gap is going to be between them as he gets on out here. Looks like it's going to be increased just a bit. I might have to chase after another driver. Looks like it's going to be Switchback who goes behind Assassin, 11 seconds behind. It's a 5-10 gap right now with Assassin and Aaron here in the Mercedes out in front of him. 4-10, 3-10, and continue breaking the gap down. Let's see where he goes at by the end of this. About to get into sector 2 that she did, and definitely looking to get that overtake done along this straight here. I might just get it done into the next turn. Actually gets it done pretty well. The straight line speed of the Alpine is insane at this point here. So he gets up into another position there, and has about a 17.4 second gap to the car in front. That's currently there in the house, who's currently leading the race. Has started the race on that same set of tires. Hasn't done a pit stop as yet, and he's now going to be waiting maybe to see if he's going to be losing time to Assassin or gaining. And if he's losing time, he might have to just do a split stop on the next upcoming lap and get on the soft tires to possibly try and get his done. And I don't think 17.1 seconds is actually going to cut it for him. He might lose the lead of the race after taking that stop. Assassin will take over back the lead, but it's going to be a question on whether Switchback will be able to follow him on through. Where Carney is going to be coming out, I'm not sure. He might be out in second, might be out in third when he gets back out of the pit lane there. Of course, we know Aaron has to do a stop. Not going to be able to worry about him. But definitely looks like Assassin and Switchback. And looks like Cameron now caught back up with them. He's behind Switchback, looking to possibly get a third place position in this race here. And Switchback there, of course, having a penalty. So that means Cameron needs to take within a minimum of a 3-second gap between him and Switchback. And he automatically would get second place on the podium and can still possibly chase after Assassin if he gets the overtake done. We'll see how this is going to work out. It's getting a bit interesting here. I'm going to get on board back here with Aaron. Let's see if he's catching up or losing time. I think he's losing some time right about now. Back on with Tintoretto here, who's about 7 tenths behind Cameron. That gap seems to be staying just a bit constant. We're going to see, have a look what's happening with the gap out front as we go on down at the back of the grid here with Bryce at the moment. A 5-10 gap right now, chasing after the Aston Martin of Bubbers in front of him. And he's going to continue on with that. Trying to have a look at Lucifer and Poker Face there. Both McLarens running 8th and 9th in this race. And remember, we had Poker Face starting. And we got the McLaren, the Aston Martin having a spin. That's Bubbers having a spin at the back there. Behind the Red Bull. Red Bull goes up into 13. So good move for Bryce there. He's a bit of a luck that Bubbers actually had a spin out of the back. On fresh tires as well. Maybe the tires are not fully up to temperature for him. I'm not sure what happened. Velo gets a 3-second penalty there. Unfortunately, with that 36 seconds behind Bubber. We'll see what's going to happen as this race comes to a close. Out in front, we got Pistassen taking over the lead right now because Carney took a pit stop. He was previously leading, now goes on to the soft tires. Let's see where he's coming out back on track. About to exit. Might just be in front of Switchback, but this is going to be a close call between them. Where is Switchback as he comes around right now and goes past him? And actually, side by side, the two of them are going to fight for that position. But of course, we got Carney coming out of the pits on fresh tires, not fully up to temperature as yet, so he needs to be a bit careful of how much he's going to push on this. But Switchback gets the position up into P3. Carney down to P4. Needs to keep the gap as close as it is and possibly just be able to fight him for that position, which he should be able to do provided he's on that soft tires there. Should have the advantage. A bit of minor contact between the two of them as they go on through and causing the Alpha Tauri to have a bit of an issue there, almost in the car, but he actually gets it back. So Switchback continues on in P4. I'm not sure if he's going to be reporting Carney for that one there. We'll see what happens at the end of the session there. But Carney gets up the position into, he's going to be running P3. Switchback now P4, and he's going to continue off with the chase. Cameron now only about 5/10 behind Switchback, so he's looking to possibly get another position up here if he can. Let's see what that's going to work out. Out in front, Aaron there, 1.3 second gap he has between himself and Pistassen. We're on lap 18, and looks like Switchback is about to lose a position here as his car is harvesting energy, going a bit slower than usual. And there goes Cameron up into P4, chasing after Carney now, and possibly trying to finish on a podium position here if he can. Now, top 4 drivers we have all currently without any penalties. Of course, though, Aaron there, 18 laps done on those hard tires. He has not taken a pit stop in his race so far, and there is a one. He has to do a one mandatory pit stop in the race, whether he likes it or not. So he is gonna have to take a pit stop and most likely go onto the soft tires there. I'm not sure why he hasn't decided to take one as yet. Let's have a look here right about now. Gap is 1.9 seconds to Pistassen out front. Has a 12.4 second gap to the car behind. So he is going to be losing a few positions here possibly when he takes that stop. So let's see how many positions down he's going to be. But still will be able to finish this race with some decent points, I assume. The question is going to be, though, can Carney catch up to Pistassen out in front and possibly challenge him for that race win? We got Bubbers out to the race, unfortunately, down at the back there. Where has he gone out? I'm not sure as yet. Looks like it's somewhere there in sector 2. Let's see if we can have a look on board with Carney here. I don't think we were able to actually see the car. That's a bit of a glimpse of it, actually, as we get past that there. And there we go. We have Carney going into the pits right about now. He's going to get his one mandatory pit stop here. And definitely going to be getting onto a set of soft tires to finish off this race for the final 6.5 laps that was remaining here at the moment as he gets back out. Sorry, Aaron there getting out. I saw it was Carney getting in. So Carney goes up into second. See where he is. 13.8 seconds, sorry, is what the gap is between him and Pistassen out front. So Pistassen has a decent lead here right about now. Of course, Carney on the fresh soft tires. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out because he's going to have the pace to try and catch up to Pistassen. Of course, not sure what's the difference between setup between these two guys. Is he actually going to be able to break the gap down in the next 6 laps and get an overtake done here? So top 3 cars right about now having no penalties. We have Gulfy there, no penalty, Poker Face as well, and David and Look, they're not connected to the game. We'll just ignore that. 14 drivers to finish up this race. Let's have a look at penalties as we get on through with this here. So 11 seconds of penalties here for switchback. Quite a lot. 6 seconds for Tintoretto. We got 5 seconds for Aaron. 3 seconds for Pulowski. We got 8 seconds for El Vigal. And 3 seconds for Lucifer. 3 seconds for Bryce. And 3 seconds for Vilno there. So far, not too bad with most of them. 11 seconds of switchback. That's going to cost them a bit in this race though. We're going to keep tires on still for now as we continue on this race here. Let's see, what close gaps do we have? Now, at the moment, gap 13.7 seconds between Carney and Pizzazz. I'm trying to have a look if that's breaking down or not. Doesn't seem to be really going anywhere at this point here. So I'm going to continue on with that as we go on down to Tintoretto, trying to break his gap down under a second. He's 1.2 seconds behind right now. And chasing after switchback, who has 11 seconds of penalties, and once he knows that, might just give him the encouragement he needs to try and catch the car in front of him. Bryce having another penalty there, 3-second penalty added to his time, probably about 6 seconds for him there now. Currently into lap 21, so we're about to close up this race pretty soon. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see if we're going to have any closer gaps as we get to the end of this race. Looks like we have an overtake just happened down at the back here. Actually, no, it's not really an overtake. David is into the pits here, which allowed Bryce to go up into 12th right now. And possibly going to go on to the softs to go to the end of the race. We get Pizzazz out in front, still leading this race. 14.2 seconds is what the gap is. And he's extending that gap right about now. Has gained just about a second so far. Since we actually last checked in with these two guys here. Now, even though Carney's on the soft tires, fresh soft tires, he's still not able to catch up to Pizzazz with the pace that he has out front. Also, we got Cameron here, who qualified there for second place on the starting grid. He's down to third right about now. He is currently, he's done 14 laps on those mediums and definitely trying to get ahead of Carney still. I'm going to see if this is going to work out for him because the gap is just about 1.8 seconds. We're in lap 22. We get about 4.5 laps, average of a 4.5 laps remaining to finish this off. And Cameron at 1.8 seconds. Let's see if this is going to go or come in terms for him. Aaron now getting the fastest lap, 127.2 there at the moment. He's currently running in 7th. Okay, sorry about that disconnection for a second there. So back on here again. Let's switch on over down in the midfield here. We got Golfi chasing after Tintoretto for P5 in the race there. Of course, we got Tintoretto with a penalty. We got Golfi absolutely no penalty, so he's looking pretty good at getting a position up here, maybe even 2 positions, depending on how much penalties guys in front of him actually have. So let's keep this going all the way. We're into lap 23 here, as it seems at the moment, and getting on through the session. Get Assassin still leading excellently out front. Carney still in second right now. A 14.7 second gap. Doesn't look like he's going to break that gap down anytime soon, and he's running out of laps to even do that. 3.5 laps remain in the race. Cameron running third on the grid, starting second, so not too bad of a finish for him, but still going to be a bit disappointed of losing positions because of that spin earlier off in the race there at the start. He did challenge Assassin quite well. We were looking forward to a pretty good battle between these two. Didn't last very long. We were hoping it will continue on somewhere along at the end of the race. Doesn't look like there's going to be any rain happening, so it's going to be a full drive race all the way to the end at this point. I highly doubt any twist is going to come at this point here. We got Tintoretto running 5th, Golfi running 6th, Aaron running 7th. We got Pulowski running in 8th, Pokerface running 9th. Both McLarens running back-to-back 8th and 9th here. It's not a bad finish for them. Both of them in the top 10, getting a lot of points here as well. Got an overtake happening here right now. Tintoretto losing a position to the Ferrari of Golfi there. He gets ahead up into P5. No penalties. He's now going to chase after. Switch back in front of him was, I know, minimum of 11 seconds of penalties right about now. So Golfi looking pretty good at getting up into P4 at this point. And it's only a 1.2 second gap, so he definitely should be able to catch up. He's on the soft tires. We got switchback on the mediums, and we're into lap 24. A lot of interesting things should be happening down at the end of this race here. Down with a lot of drivers having penalties. We're going to see how this works out. Elvigal down the back here. Looks like he was about to get an overtake done and had to hold back from it with Polka Face there, trying to split up the McLarens. Not sure how good of an idea he's going to want to be to get between that, but he's going to try and get a position up if he can just to gain some points here. So interesting enough, looking some pretty close gaps out front here at the moment. Tintoretto chasing after Golf. He's trying to get back that position. 3/10 is what it is right now. Let's see if he's going to stay that way or just get bigger at the moment here. Out in front still 14.9 seconds now as Pesaston continues to lead. An excellent lead right now, up to 15 seconds. And he definitely is having a heck of a time out in front there. Carney in second, still trying to keep himself up into second to finish on the podium. 5 laps on those set of soft tires, and it's working for him at the moment. A 1.4 second gap though to Cameron behind. He needs to be very, very careful of that Aston Martin there, because he does have the pace to actually catch up even on those 17 lap old medium tires. He's only about not another exactly about 2 laps currently remaining in this race right about now. Golfi here, 3:10 gap towards the AlphaTauri in front of him, and he's looking to get up into 4th place right about now, which he automatically will get, but he's definitely trying to just get it on his own and get across the line on that there. Currently on lap 25 here, guys, or 26 for the British Grand Prix here with Prospect eRacing League America's Division Tier 1. Exciting race from the start to finish at this point here. A lot of good battles going on, especially on the opening lap was quite exciting, getting on through until we had Cameron had that spin there. But we're really looking forward to the battle throughout the race between those two, him and Pesaston out in front. But still, he's gotten back all the way up into P3. He was already down to 17th on the grid after that spin. So an amazing comeback. And he's up into P3 right about now, and he's probably going to be finishing the race right there, third on the podium. And let's see what's going to happen though, because we got Golfi now coming up into P4, gets ahead of Switchback, and let's see if Switchback will be able to get that position back at 2:10 gap only as he holds it there right now, and he's going to possibly have to keep that as it is. And of course Tintoretto behind him at 5/10 gap there right now. Looks like Carney out front gained about 7/10 in the past lap towards Pesaston out front. Let's see how much longer this is going to continue on here at the moment. I can see we got Pesaston about to enter into the final lap of the race. We're going to switch on to him maybe in the final sector of the track just to have a look at him go across the line, see him take that win for the race, because it will be a well-deserved win as well. Alright, so we're going to keep on line here. Let's have a look. Switch back, about to get past this Ferrari back here if you can get an overtake lined up. At this point here, of course, he does have Tintoretto chasing after him just behind there in 6th, a pretty close gap. The penalties are what's going to separate them. We're into the final lap of this race. We're going to put penalties online here. You guys can have a look at that and see what's happening in that case there. And it's now 14 seconds of penalties. So Switchback, he definitely will be losing some positions here at the end of this race. We got 9 seconds with Tintoretto, 5 seconds with Aaron there. Cameron now gets a 3-second penalty. This is a bit disturbing at this point, but of course he has an 8-second gap to the car behind. So he is safe at this point here right now to be on the podium still, but needs to be very, very careful with this, because he could potentially lose that position. Let's see what's happening, and he might just be losing that position, because we now have a 3.8 second gap between Cameron and Golfi. I'm not sure what's happened. That quickly that gap has broken down. He might have made a bit of a mistake after getting that penalty there. So this is coming to it's about an 8-10 difference right about now between these two, switching it for P3 on the podium. So let's see what's going to happen at the end of this current lap here. We got Pesaston here getting through the final sector of the track. Qualified P1 for qualifying 1, qualifying 2, qualifying 3. Started the race P1, had an exciting session going on through, and he now gets across the line, takes the win for the British Grand Prix here for round 2 for the Americas Division. Carney coming around the final few turns here at the moment, and he should be able to, with a 16.1 second gap, still will be able to take second place on the podium, and not a bad race for him to be finishing on the podium there as well, and getting some good points in for his team. Cameron here coming around, a 3.8 second gap to the car behind, and a 3-second penalty, takes third place on the podium. We got Golfi coming around, has to take fourth. Switchback will be switching all the way down of quite a few positions as he's going to go there. Tintoretto currently takes 5th. We got Aaron currently taking 6th. Let's see if any more switches are going to happen. Looks like he's going to be that and stick with it there. He's currently down to 7th on the grid there. Pulowski coming around here, and he's going to go across the line. Does he make another switch? No, he doesn't. He finishes and takes P8 on the grid. We got El Vigal coming around at the moment here. Might be a bit of a switch. Will it be? Because it's a 3-second penalty for Poker Face behind of him. Might be a switch between El Vigal and Poker Face, and does get a switch there. So the McLarens finished back-to-back 8th and 9th on the race. El Vigal there, 4.1 seconds was behind. So now down to that in 10th. Lucifer gets across the line. Let's see where he is. He's about to get across the line. Takes 11th on the grid. Bryce comes around. He's going to take 12. We got David should be taking 13. Vilno take 14. And Quito, which I don't think he's connected to his car, so I'm not sure if he is. If he does get a position, it's going to be 15 for him on that there. The only driver to get across the line, I think, is Bryce and Quito's car, and that's going to be it there. And yep, that was an excellent recovery for Cameron there. Starting second, having that spin at the start, getting into the lead, and then having that spin and getting back all the way up into a podium position at the end of this race. So exciting finish. And Aaron gets driver of the day. I think he actually drove a pretty decent race there to get that as well. So not too bad with that. We're going to have a look at the results here for the session so far. They have the guys on the podium there. Persasson having an excellent win. Led and won that race by about 14 seconds with a car behind of him. Let's have a look at the results here before we do get off the session here, guys. So, excellent, well-deserved win goes to Persasson there in the Alpine, and takes some more points there, and will continue to lead the driver standings for the Drivers' Championship with that there. So Persasson takes the win. Carney finishes second on the podium there. We got Cameron third on the podium, started second, had a bad spin, but ended up in 17th on the grid, and made a comeback and go all the way onto a podium position. Golfi there finishing 4th on the grid. We got Tintoretto taking 5th. Aaron takes 6th. We got Switchback takes 7th. Pulowski in 8th. We got Pokerface in 9th. We had El Vigal finishing 10th. And we got Lucifer taking 11, Bryce 12, David in 13, Vilno in 14th. And that's it for drivers to finish. I think the quota still finish the race, but in 15th. Of course, we did have a few drivers. Bubba there not able to finish. Nico not as well. Kilos there in 18 as well. Didn't get to finish the race, unfortunately for that. And thank you guys for joining on the session. Hopefully I'll get to see you guys again next week for round 3, which will be for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Looking forward to that one as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to the Prospect eRacing League channel, and make sure you guys do leave a like on this stream there as well. Thank you guys for joining on this session.